guys, today I'm going to teach you how to make this cute cat paw stocking. First thing you want to do is print out the template I have provided down below. I made it as large as I possibly could, which kind of cut off in my printer, which you can see here, but that is fine. You want to print it at whatever size you want the stocking to be. Then go ahead and cut out around the outside of the black line. Now grab your stocking fabric. I got this cute Christmas pattern fabric from Joann's, and this half yard can make about 3 stockings of this size. Make sure your fabric is still folded in half when you pin your pattern to get 2 cut pieces. And when placing your pattern down, make sure you allow room for seam allowance. I chose 1/4 inch. Now you want to cut out your pattern with your seam allowance added. I just eyed it as I cut, but if you're new, I'd say measure and mark first before you make any cuts. Then you want to cut out 2 strips of fabric that are about 1.5 inches by 7 for the hanger. Unpin the pattern and set those 2 pairs of fabric aside. Bring back the pattern, and now we want to cut out the pads of the paw. This pattern is symmetrically mirrored down the middle, so I folded the paper in half and cut around the large middle pad. The finger pads are all the same, so you just need to cut out 1. For the pads, I'm using some scrap fleece I had left over, but of course a cheaper alternative would be felt. You just want to make sure you use a fabric that doesn't fray easily. So cut out 1 of the large pad and 4 of the finger pads. So here they all are. Take the best looking side of the stocking fabric and line up the pattern again to make it easy to line up the paw pieces. Pin them in place and sew. I chose to machine sew, but this can easily be done with hand stitching as well. While still at the machine, I sewed up the sides of the strips right sides together to make a tube. Pull the tube inside out and then iron the seams flat. Take the 2 stocking pieces, put them right sides together, and sew around within the seam allowance. Take your scissors and make tiny slits around the curved portions, but do not cut through the stitching. This will make it look more rounded when the stocking is inverted. Now flip it inside out, smooth out all the corners, and iron the seams flat. Now we need to add the band to the top. For this, I'm using fuzzy fabric I had left over from another project, link in the description, which was kind of a bad idea because it frays and leaves little fuzzies everywhere, and that happened in the last project. But you can just use the same fleece or fabric you used for the paw pads. To measure out the size of the band, I just set my stocking on the fabric to see how far I wanted it to go down, and then flipped over the stocking to see how long it needed to be. Make sure to cut it longer than you need it to be, just in case. Now take the band and fold it good sides together and sew up the side to make a tube. Now it is time to assemble everything. We have our stocking piece, our handle piece, and our fluffy band piece with all of the good sides facing outwards. Now is the time to decide which side you want the handle on. I'm going to go with the right. Take the handle piece, fold it in half, and tuck the folded part inward and line up the raw edges and pin it in place. Like so, and then you want to take the band piece and make sure the inseam is facing inward and line up the seams together like this. Pin into place all around, and then we're ready to sew. If you're using a sewing machine like me, don't forget to take off the extra piece as if you're sewing a sleeve so it fits in perfectly. Remember the seam allowance you used before. Mine was 1/4 inch. And our final step is to flip right sides out and flatten and iron the seams if you'd wish. And there it is. So as you can see, there's a nice, beautiful seam line there. And that's it. That's our done stocking. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I think this stocking's really adorable, and I'll see you all later.